Welcome to Fireteam Chat, IGN's Destiny show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Joining me today in the studio is CJ Gibson.
What's up?
Fran Mirabella.
Hey, Guardians.
And Sean Finnegan.
Chomp, I guess.
He's in a good mood, but I'm really happy because the whole crew is here. We have a ton to talk about. Let's go over a few of the topics we're going to be discussing today. So we got Nightfall Scoring, a bunch of raid changes. We got PvP changes that we're going to go over last week. That's why CJ's allowed on the show. We have the Activision earnings call, which had a lot of interesting news. And Crimson Days is coming back, and there have been some forum changes over on Bungie.net. We're going to have a long discussion about everything going on with Bungie. Fran, how's that Discord going?
Please join our Discord. Great plug, Destin. But we're going to leave it at the top of the comments. We've been getting a lot of response from the last episode. That means a lot of Guardians are playing with each other and finding ways to raid. So hit that link at the top of our youtube.com/fireteamchat latest episode.
Fran and I went through Prestige Raid, and it was a disaster. You should watch that over on youtube.com/fireteamchat. But it was a disaster in the best kind of way.
That's what you're missing if you're not subscribed.
Yeah.
Nice.
So guys, we have so much to go over. Do you want to start with Nightfall, raids, PvP, CJ?
Oh, you know what? Let's leave PvP for last, but what I do want to ask is, does it stack?
Oh, good call out.
Burn.
It does stack. We addressed it on the show. Lots of comments. I do apologize for being misleading.
Afterworks armor. Stacks. We now know.
Stack.
Yeah,
It
up to
does stack.
15%.
All right, so let's start with that Activision earnings call from yesterday. This happened fairly recently. There's a huge expansion coming in the fall. I think that was pretty unsurprising news to any Destiny fan. That's been pretty standard practice, but exciting nonetheless. Bungie and Activision seem to have fan feedback as a top priority, and it's nice to hear Activision calling that out, as well as representing Bungie's voice, saying they're really listening to fans. However, in-game revenues are expected to be a top earner for Activision in 2018, and that makes me nervous because it means they're doubling down on microtransactions, but listening to fan feedback, that's going to be difficult to weigh when the boss is saying more microtransaction. Bungie's like, hey, people really don't like that. So they got to figure out how to balance that appropriately.
Did they say that they're increasing it, though? They just said it's top earner, and maybe that's what it is today, right?
Expected to be a top earner.
Yeah, which it probably is today, is all I'm saying. Meaning
Players
things aren't changing.
Check this out. Players still bought more virtual goods in Call of Duty and Destiny in 2018 than they did in 2017. So, guys, if you don't like this stuff, do not spend money at Eververse. If they see it's not an effective business model, they'll stop doing it.
Yeah. I think
that's the only way you can send a message to people.
Yeah.
I mean, your wallet.
The feedback, I will say, though, and we'll go through Crimson Double's implementation after, is a lot better. So the Dawning was very much this thing that blew up for good reason, and it's good to hear that at least there's some changes coming.
Yeah, I think Crimson Days is at least telling of how much of a focus they're trying to put on solving the frustration.
Yes.
It doesn't mean it's going away, though. And I think I bought like an $8 plunger ninja sword or something in
A Fortnite?
But that's for the entertainment, as we've discussed in the past. But anyway,
Terrible.
different
But
topic.
you can just say, I want that.
But that's the point. Don't buy if you don't want to support this. Otherwise, they're going to keep doing it.
Exactly.
It's all about the earnings.
So check this out. This was interestingly phrased, and I missed it the first time. Destiny 2 was the second highest grossing console game in North America in 2017. So very specific region there that they're discussing. But this is what shocked a lot of people. Attach rate on the first DLC was higher than the attach rate for Dark Below and Destiny 1. But Ryan McCaffrey pointed out, we're on 3 platforms.
Right.
So, of course, you have a whole other demographic that is going to come in. And everybody on Twitter said, well, of course, the pre-orders.
Yeah.
Remember, Destiny 1 also had that incentive where you got the expansions with certain versions of the game. But I really think what lended to it was that third platform, because PC, and it launched at the same time. So everybody on PC, everybody on PS4, and everybody on Xbox all went to that second.
So I skipped Dark Below in Destiny Year 1. I kind of petered out of Destiny 1 before Dark Below came out, and then I didn't get to play Crota until I came back for House of Wolves, which is the last, or that expansion after Dark Below. So I can't really speculate on what the climate was like in Destiny 1 at that point, but is it comparable? Part of me thinks the attach rate might have been higher for Curse of Osiris because Destiny 2 was kind of in a sad state right before that, and they were hoping that that first expansion, Curse of Osiris, would breathe life back into it.
Yeah.
Was that not the case for Dark Below?
History is repeating itself a little bit. When I've gone back,
I think it's way simpler than this, by the way.
Well, I mean, okay, so long story short, then I think
It's the 3 platforms, right?
yeah, I mean it is, but I think that when you look back at it, it was an unknown variable. There was a disappointing release and scores and launch, so there was that coming into it. But then I think people were hoping and wanting to see what was happening. Now it's like, well, they're at the same release cadence as they were before, and I think people expected more from Destiny 2.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Fran?
Well, I think it was along the lines of what you were saying. Like, all of the console bases have grown in many years, right? They were early in their stage. So it's just a bigger, grown-in
You're right. Platform
player
launch.
base is just bigger. It's a ratio of people buying games. So you've got that. Then you've launched on a third platform. But
Counterpoint, the 360 and PS3 were platforms where they
That
could
as
also buy
well.
the expansion. So they had a huge install base.
That's a very good
argumentatively.
point, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
But where I was also going with it, like Destiny then, like we didn't know what the expansions were. I don't know what it is. I was just saying, I think it is, like we see console player base, it has gotten a lot bigger for what it is.
But that's an interesting point. You did not take that into consideration
No.
when you were,
Yeah.
But it's interesting because, a lot of people, like I remember playing Destiny on 360 and PlayStation 3 just to try them out. But it's weird when they stopped supporting them. That's when it's like,
I don't know how big those player bases were, but my other main point was just that, like, Destiny, nobody knew what it was then.
Right.
If you look at the hype, like, there was a reason to pre-order is all I was going to say.
Yeah.
Now in Destiny 2, the hype train was huge. Even though it was big for Destiny, like, we just don't know. We didn't know what DLC was. Even back then, we were hesitant about DLC. There was a lot of bad stories around DLC back then.
I think people knew what it was. I think for the most part, the people on Twitter hit me up and just general consensus about pre-orders. It was bundled in with more versions of the game, I think. It was an easier add-on this time.
Yeah.
So people just have it. Like, I have it because I got the super deluxe edition or whatever.
And it was cheaper this time, too.
Yeah.
What's weird for me is
Maybe, I don't know.
thinking
I don't
about
want to say that.
I mean, it's funny to listen to you talk about buying something.
I don't want to say
Fortnite.
anything and be wrong later.
It's interesting to hear me.
I'm not shy about that.
It's interesting for me to hear you talk about buying a plunger and whatever that's valuable
Fortnite.
to you in
Fun
Fortnite.
entertainment. It's for the stream.
Whatever.
Not-
All I'm saying is, prior to Destiny being released, typically games were, hey, we're going to sell you a bunch of maps, and those maps are going to be $20 for 3 maps or 4 maps. That's what the value add of DLCs was prior to Destiny. Now, this is where I keep going back and forth on what do you expect from it. And now it's like the bar was raised again by Bungie with these DLCs. You got raids, maps, game modes, all that kind of stuff. Now that we expect that, now all of a sudden it's like, well, man, this should be way lower in price. It's like you get a lot for $20, but still there's a psychological reason why you'll buy a plunger in Fortnite for how much?
You get a lot for $20.
But I'm not
in
expecting
purse?
anything other than a dumb item.
Okay, so hold up.
I know
This
hold up. Hold up,
conversation,
CJ.
the expectation.
Wait. You can get a lot of something bad and still not consider it a good value. And for the most part, people did not enjoy Curse of Osiris.
Right.
So you're getting a lot of stuff that people didn't necessarily like.
And that's true. What I'm saying is if you look historically at multiplayer games like Halo and Call of Duty, typically you got maps, and that was it. And people back then, at least like in late 2007 and when those games were coming out, that was fine. Now, think about Prison of Elders. You think about, missions and strikes and game modes.
Yeah.
And a raid, like, I didn't actually play much of the raids at first because I didn't know what it was. And after you played it, you're like, man, I want one of these every month.
You're
Obviously,
right.
that's
The
not possible.
audience expectation about what comes in a DLC has changed drastically because of Destiny. But I just want to point out, like, it's also changed in different ways in other games. Like, I hate to keep bringing it up, but Halo gave away all of their DLC and maps and modes and skins and recs for free.
Yep.
So
because they're making
I don't know
enough revenue.
who out there could think that that wasn't a good value.
They're
Yeah.
making enough revenue from their rec packs, so they don't need to charge people more.
Yeah.
I would love to have this conversation
And they have
with
a huge backing.
more information, but Titanfall 2 did kind of the same thing, gave a lot of stuff for free. That player base isn't there, and it released at a weird time. There's a bunch of interesting cases.
But that's an interesting case because
Yeah.
Titanfall was like doomed to fail because of how EA positioned it.
in between major
For the
titles.
fact, yeah.
Bungie could learn a lot from other games that are doing things well.
We haven't
Like-
said that before.
Monster Hunter.
Aw, no, you didn't.
I was
Sean
really-
has been playing a lot.
I was really looking forward to that being one of the topics. Why Destin is wrong about Monster Hunter and Destiny not being comparable. But unfortunately, we can't really get into it.
It's a long episode today. There are comparable aspects, but it's a little bit of a stretch. And
It's
saying
another
that
time.
Monster Hunter did
Here he goes.
a bunch of stuff that's never been done before.
Well, I
It's
never
been
said
there,
anything like that.
But that's what everybody's doing. They're comparing it because Monster Hunter's hot right now, and not being
Yeah.
down with Destiny is hot right now.
It
So they're
is.
correlating the two, and that's what's driving me nuts. There are other games that did the things in Monster Hunter better than Monster Hunter is doing it, and that's what drives me crazy.
Rant
Monster
over.
Hunter's a great
Anyway,
game.
Monster Hunter is a great game. A lot of people are loving it. Sorry,
I'm sure
I don't
you're
want to
thinking-
linger
yeah,
on the
I was gonna say,
Activision earnings call.
we are way off topic. And I don't know
Yeah.
why we never really know what some of these things mean. That's why it's a little vague and they twist their words. And so who knows what
There's
the
a lot of,
attach
like-
rate really is defined as.
There's a lot of asterisk number
you
note
can't-
at the bottom to a source.
The goal is it sounds really good to investors. That's the goal. So you do have to be careful.
Yeah,
Clearly, we don't know what it is.
I did like this earnings call a little bit more than ones in the past. Earnings calls are not fun to listen to usually, but we got a lot of information about Destiny, and to hear Activision sort of back up Bungie and be like, we're supporting them for the most part, except for the in-game revenues, that makes me nervous. But yeah, so
Yeah. But then again, you
Oh,
get
no.
paid by them. So
no, I do not. Crimson
You guys
Day.
might want to crush that right
Chill.
now before it gets
False.
out of
Just
hand.
kidding.
Chill.
Just-
I'm just kidding.
Crimson Days, aka Crimson Doubles, is coming back. It begins February 13th.
Yeah.
It brings back the Burnout, aka Burning Shrine, the Trials of Osiris origin map. CJ is stoked. They
excited.
took the sun and they darkened it,
The
actually.
best map.
Yeah.
So you can
can
actually
see
shoot
outside
people
now.
outside.
Yeah, it is the best map. It was the best map.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a different Vex version of it.
Basically.
Alternate reality
Yeah.
It
simulation.
looks cool.
A bunch
It's
of
gonna be
stuff
weird,
in my notes, but basically rewards you
It's
get
Clash
from the
2v2.
Crimson Engram are on a knockout basis, so you're going to prevent, it says it's going to prevent duplicates until all gear is earned. So
Cool.
that is an improvement.
Yep.
You're also going to receive an Illuminated Engram and Crimson Engram when you level up during Crimson Days. However, they specify that Crimson Engrams are only earnable through gameplay, so that's kind of, I'm a little confused.
No,
how-
that's good.
Well, that's actually a
Leveling
big
up.
change because
Yeah.
the last time they introduced like a timed event like this, one of the big complaints that the community had was that you weren't able to earn, I forget what the name of the engram was, but like you couldn't earn that particular engram just by doing regular gameplay oriented.
The Dawning
leveling up.
engram.
Was it the Dawning?
The Dawning,
engram?
yeah.
That was one of the big complaints. So if they adjust it this time around, like just doing things in the game will allow me to get the Crimson
Yeah.
engrams. That's big improvement.
Yep.
There's no cap on Crimson Engrams. You must be level 25. Tests will still sell stuff that's in the Engrams for Bright Dust, and you can dismantle the stuff that you get for Bright Dust, so it's kind of circular there. Much less emphasis on the Eververse.
Yeah. Small caveat, actually, if you're not, if you don't have the expansion, it's okay if you're level 20 as well. So it adjusts for either. That's absolutely true.
Okay.
They made it clear that
I'm like, I
you
didn't see
don't
that part.
have to have the expansion. It said if
Yep.
you're level 25, you qualify. If you're level 20, you also qualify.
Oh, okay.
This is one of those free events, and again, they're
'Cause that was
giving
the
away a
problem.
map in it, and now you get that as well too permanently after the event.
They're addressing the Curse of Osiris problems where certain things were locked off, and they're like, no, everybody can do Crimson Days.
You also get tasks for completion. There's a welcome mission in the tower, which gives you a ghost and an emblem, an ornament for doing the raid for Wardrift Coil, whatever they renamed it to.
Yeah.
PvP
Wardcliff.
Sparrow, and a dance for doing the Nightfall.
Wait, they renamed that weapon?
It's not Wardrift Coil. What's it called?
Wardcliff coil.
No, it's Wardcliff. We used to call it, we had another name.
Dubious Follow.
Dubious
That's
Valley.
what it was. You're
That's
right.
what
So
he's
I am
thinking about.
saying the right name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dubious
yeah, yeah.
Folly?
yeah.
You guys are right.
That's what it was.
Is
So
that just
basically-
a joke name you guys came up with?
No.
No,
That's what it
it was on. It was an early name for it in the early versions.
Yeah.
So here's what I like about Crimson Days, not Crimson Doubles as it was in Destiny 1. It's easier to acquire some of the items like the Sparrow and a dance and such.
Yep.
The fact that they're eliminating doubles, that is a big step in the right direction. If they do that across the
Yeah,
board,
matchmaking.
that is going to be great.
Yep.
They're bringing back something old and presenting it like it's something new with the map. That I don't like.
Oh.
So, I mean, I'm excited to play on the map, but making that a selling point. Hey, here's that thing
Distant
that you had
Shores
before.
shade all over
But it's
again.
free though.
It is free. That's a good point, CJ. And it'll
free.
probably go into the rotation. So that's actually a really good point.
Yes.
It is a free update.
Mm-hmm.
I
But it's
love that
nothing
map.
new.
I get your
Nothing.
point.
I
but
do
I've
love
been
that map.
waiting
I'm
for
glad it's there. Why
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
it there?
totally
at launch?
remade. Yeah.
That's what fans are probably going to ask.
I
So
don't
this-
mind that.
This is the second map we already had in Destiny 1 that has been put into the game. And it's like, oh, cool, that thing that I should have had at the beginning.
Well, is the map
That's
going
how
to
people feel. I
Disagree. I disagree.
is the
Go
map
ahead.
going to stay or go away? Different discussion, but
Sure as a
say
time,
we should
sure as a time stayed after
yeah,
the event.
it did.
Yeah.
Why can't all the maps just stay?
I mean, so Bungie always does this. We talked about this one episode where, again, Heretic was the mid-ship remake from Halo 2. And they do this where they change lanes and they change aesthetics and all that stuff. I'm interested just to to see how it plays. We'll talk about PvP in a second, but for me, the outside, the sunshine, those are all fundamental things of Burning Shrine. I hope it feels the same, and I know
It's
will
going
be.
to.
But
I mean,
you
it
know
changes
that
the outside
you
of
know that
media.
sun was too bright.
It was
Of course
too
it
bright.
was,
Yeah,
but that's
was,
what made it annoying.
It was a
special.
vantage point in a way, but yeah, it depends on. I'm excited to see Burning Shrine. I will say that it coming back, I don't have a problem with that at all. I like when they release these
But it should
older
have been
maps.
there, right?
I don't know. The should have been there thing to me it's irrelevant. It's like it launched with what it launched, and I like that now there's other things coming back down the line.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a question of if you have enough maps or not. I think predicated on that, it should have been there at launch. Meaning we needed more maps at launch, so why not reuse old ones you have?
Yeah.
That's my view. But I'm fine with it being re-released though.
It's a sequel. I would rather have something new, and I would rather they just had an event where they're like, "Hey, we're bringing back all your favorite maps from Destiny 1." If they're going to do it that way, instead of piecemealing them out.
I mean, like Halo's done this from game to game to game, but like they'll bring back an old map that was fan favorite for a new one. They rename it and it plays a little differently or whatever.
Calling it right now, Twilight Gap will be the next one.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I like Twilight
probably.
Gap.
Yeah, I was
But
thinking-
like, my point is, you know, it shouldn't. I think the expectation that every map that was in the game before should be available in the sequel. I think that's a little entitled.
Yeah.
But I like this idea of if we're gonna get new maps. I mean, not new maps. If we're gonna get maps added to the pool, that they're old ones that have been revamped for the new sequel. That's fine as long as it's free.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna pay for it, then I do want it to be new.
And you do have to remember they switched to 4v4. I know 6v6 might be coming, and but
Well, it is
this
Fire
is
Banner,
it makes a lot of sense on the sense it is 2v2. It's a very small map, so it makes a lot of sense under those terms.
You guys had me on the point about it being free. It is a free piece of content update. We should be happy about it. But to me, it just feels like they're using something old and repurposing it as new, and that's been a problem with Destiny for so long. Like when they released Rise of Iron, it felt like reskin enemies to the audience, right? And that was a major complaint. So I think the audience is going to react the same way. It's like, oh, great, I'm excited about this new map, but I've done this before.
Yeah, and just for clarity, what did you want for Crimson Days?
I am super excited.
No, for a map.
I mean, for a map, I don't know, something new.
Yeah, that's all. Just for clarity, you just wanted a totally brand new map introduced.
Oh, man.
that we get to keep.
And in addition, hey, we're giving you this whole new map that we developed for Crimson Days especially. And guys, we love you. We're bringing back one of your favorites.
Right.
Yeah.
Double
Two.
dose.
You want two
Yeah.
maps?
Well,
it used
it's
to
a
be
doubles
Crimson
kind of
Doubles.
experience.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Well,
It
I
takes two to tango.
mean, yeah, for doubles.
There it is.
That's just my take, and I'm actually happy about the new map. I love Burning Shrine.
Burning Shrine was amazing. To me, the only thing they could have done was said, okay, guess what, guys? Classic Trials is coming back as well. at the
I
same
would
time.
lose my mind.
I
That would be awesome.
thought that was going to be happening. I'm like, where is it? Okay.
For Crimson
Burning
Doubles, you
Shrine.
thought that was
Well,
gonna
I
happen?
thought maybe
'Cause you
once
saw
I
the
saw
map.
Burning Shrine. Because
Yeah,
Burning
well.
Shrine was the Trials map. It was
Maybe-
the opening launch of Trials. So
Maybe this is them setting it up. And then,
I hope so.
See,
Definitely
now I
not.
would have
No.
a problem with that.
What?
if they brought back
What's
Classic
happening?
Trials,
No, not. I would love having Trials back, but I kind of have a philosophical problem of everyone being happy to get something they already had.
Well, that's true.
we
Okay,
don't
well,
have
how do
it.
you, like,
we
never
don't
shouldn't
have
be
it.
that way.
We don't have it at all, though.
No, I know, but it shouldn't be that way.
But
you know?
such is the state of Destiny 2 right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are coming back that are being presented
Let's
as
not get
new
too
right
caught
now.
up
So,
on
like,
that. Do you love the new Trials? Is that
No.
why? Okay, then did you like the old Trials?
Yeah.
Well, let's
Yeah,
just stick to
bring
that
it
for now.
back.
I know,
I mean, I hear you. We
but
don't want.
you
I
get
agree.
how it's like, you know.
Chris Bear was
recycle.
Chris
yeah,
Bear
I
was
get it.
asking for feedback on Twitter, and I'm like, for now, just reactivate Trials in Destiny 1. That's going to make your hardcore base happy, and then announce that it's coming to Destiny 2 eventually.
Yeah,
and
in
then
the fall.
make that transition. But the fact that you took it away and gave a new version that people aren't liking, I think if you gave us 3v3, once you adjust all the powers and everything, it's
See, I think
really
it's a lot more than just reintroducing.
Yeah, it's more-
reintroducing 3v3
Because of the
like
infrastructure.
The whole PvP game balance is tailored towards a different playstyle.
And we'll
and
talk
experience,
about that.
you know?
That, I think, is going to
If
be
we
a
have
challenge.
time.
Bringing it back. We will talk about it. But no, on that point, I would love to understand why, PvP and Trials was taken out of Destiny 1. I joked before that happened that I would continue to play that. Conversations about Twitch numbers and all that other stuff when you look at PvP being the thing that kept Destiny alive. That was some of the topics you had last week, I think.
There were a lot of stories that people keep telling me about that. We are seeing the lowest PvP numbers based on a small sample size.
Right.
But lowest PvP numbers that we have seen in Destiny history. And that's concerning, obviously. I'm sure for Bungie and for the community.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But maybe should we round out the Crimson Doubles conversation?
Yeah. So I'm not excited for it. Like a little bit. That's what I think.
Really
Man.
So rounding it out.
To be fair, I didn't enjoy it that much in Destiny 1. It wasn't that fun for me. I think CJ and I played a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I get it. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
let's go to CJ.
It was elimination though before, right? And now it's Clash 2v2. We don't know all the mechanics exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like I was gonna say, I think it would have been really cool if they had done something unique and interesting with the doubles aspect, right? Like,
I wanted to bring that up. It
oh,
seems like they did.
are we on the same page?
It's
no.
the same.
Well, I was
I don't
gonna suggest like
There's
it
the
would be
team
cool.
shot thing. Go ahead. There's a
Well,
meta
there's
there.
a few meaning I just want to make sure we do discuss. They say, okay, the combat scenario is 2v2 Clash with a round-based twist. They didn't quite say what that is, I don't think, right? But what I noticed was they talk about the sun's been darkened. That's why that's called
the map.
the burnout.
Yeah.
But only light to be found comes from you and your partner. Fighting is one. Look in the screenshot. You're lit. There's like a light on you. So I'm wondering what that is mechanically.
That's the buff if you're close together with each
right.
other. Yeah.
But meaning it's in this dark environment. So I think that's going to
So maybe
play.
it's pitch black and only when you're
I
near
don't,
each other.
I don't think it's that, but like I'm
How
getting
scary
a sense.
is Crimson
I'll
Days?
bet you just don't. I'll bet you just aren't generating super over time unless you're near your buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but meaning that just they say it's dark and there's this light around you. And so I don't know if that plays much in the mechanics.
We'll see.
Well, it does in the sense that you're close, you're generating your abilities, so you're super like able to see each other.
Yeah.
It probably goes out a bit when you're separated, but
The concern was that it kind of also promotes the same thing that I think people are kind of a little bit fundamentally upset with Destiny 2 about, is that you are constantly always with a teammate, which is not a problem, but right now in Crimson Doubles, it just fosters more of that, hey, let's
that's
just like be
why
buddy-buddy
I would have
and
been
sit
like-
next to each other.
Have you played Halo doubles? Like, why not make it 2v2v2v2? Like,
I've
would've
seen
been
that
really
in the
fun.
comment sections again.
That
That's
would've
not
been
something
really
that Destiny's
fun.
done in their infrastructure yet.
It just adds like a whole nother level of gameplay. You know?
Yeah.
We still have 3 topics to get through, so I don't want to spend too much time. Any final thoughts about Crimson Days?
don't knock until you try it.
The one positive aspect I will say, and it's weird to say this, but I'm happy that they have the knockout policy where you're
Super
going to get
happy.
fewer duplicates. I'm like, that's just how it should have been.
It becomes like a checklist.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Did you get everything? No, I want to get it all. Keep going. Keep going. And then you get it. That's kind of what we really need right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play on the new map.
Yes.
I don't know about the mode.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it in Destiny 1. That's why I'm not that excited for the sequel.
Yeah.
Final comment. Also, Sean and I did a Dawning episode when it was just the two of us. These are all positive changes. This is, they heard all the complaints of hashtag Eververse, more or less addressed almost all of them. So, I mean,
Game's fixed.
within the context of this DLC, if it or with this free event, if it had been the same, people would have not only probably been like, I'm out, they would have been very mad, and this is positive.
So let's talk about some of the other major changes, including Nightfall Scoring. This one's pretty big, and to me, Nightfall Scoring sounds a lot like what they did with Halo Reach, and that has me really excited because it was one of my favorite modes in Halo Reach. I would go do Grunt Birthday Party for hours just because it was so fun. So Nightfall is all about scores now. Score does bleed over time. Scoring is team-based, earn points with kills and orb generation. There's a passive 15-minute time limit, meaning once you reach it, you don't drop out of the game, but you reduce your score by 50% for points earned. And then after 18 minutes, you stop earning points. You can complete it solo. That's a big change, and I think people are really going to like it. Challenge cards can add a modifier that will send you to orbit on death, or you can. That's called Extinguish. Yeah, old school.
So
it's like
cool.
D1. There's a power modifier that will decrease your power to gain score bonus. And there's one called Singe, which increases damage 25% for your elemental sources like Void, Arc, or Solar. What else do I got here? Scores can be shown off on your emblems for each Nightfall. And you get an aura if you beat the community average score, which grants a buff in token drop for your entire team. All of that sounds excellent. I am really excited to hear this revamp for Nightfall because it reminds me so much of what they did with Reach, where you could like pick and choose the modifiers, pick how difficult it's going to be. There's going to be like a community sort of leaderboard thing. They did this in House of Wolves, or no, later actually. They did it later with Prison of Elders, where there was a challenge. And I actually loved seeing, did that same team who won last week, are they winning again?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. But those teams would sort of just mob or
They
hit the mobs
figure out
over
a
and
way.
over and over
Yeah,
again. So they're working on that. It's also not just rushing through the encounter, which was one of their design
That's positive.
design goals.
Yep.
Goals. So yeah. What do you guys think about Nightfall Scoring? Are you gonna check it out? I will.
Yeah. To me, I think the biggest thing is that people wanted to do the Nightfall solo. They couldn't do that with a timer. The timer was a cool modifier. That needed to be maybe once a month, not every single week. And besides that, yeah, I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah.
That was the big thing I was going to bring up too. The ability to do it solo, just having the ability and not feeling like, well, I'm not going to do Nightfall. I can't find anyone right now, which is a big problem. I want the reward. So that's huge. And then I do think this arcadey, style and nature of it, bringing back some of the leaderboard stuff.
Yeah.
Dado, congrats on the first win.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you on top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like super excited to see just how it feels to be competing for the aura and some of these other things. I like those elements.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
I do too. I think the way to spice up like PvE events where you're doing the same things over and over again is to add challenge modes and to give players the ability to customize the challenges so that they're challenging their team in ways that they find are interesting. Because it sucks when you're like, oh, these set of modifiers make it sound really not fun, and you have to do it anyway.
Yeah, but it's
and you
the
get the
strategy.
Yeah.
Like, it's the difficulty. So that
Yeah, but I love the
people.
idea about like you deciding to put your own modifiers on there and formulating your own team strategy, right?
And
I
you
think
get to
that's really cool.
you get to show it off too, like with your emblem, which is supposedly going to drop after completing it for the first time for whatever strike it happens to be that week.
Oh, I didn't catch this. It's been a very busy week.
Yeah.
How do the challenge cards work? Do we know?
So you
Are
actually
they random?
You get them as a drop, I believe. Then you turn on the modifiers you want. That's what it looks like. I don't quite understand.
Okay.
We're gonna have to see it in
So
action.
potentially, or maybe it's a fact, but you can if you want to put the death card in there and go old school and be like, guys, this is the challenge. That's really cool. If you can do that.
I don't know if you can activate all three or if you can only do one at a time, but I really like this.
Yeah, I like the idea of it getting a little OG once in a while.
It's like
I
Halo
don't-
Skulls, man. You could turn on all the skulls, go do Grunt birthday party, and see how long you survived.
Yep.
But just like I did like old school Nightfall for the fear of death, but I didn't
Yeah.
want it all the time. And this is a kind of interesting way to twist around that.
And this is just what they're starting with. I believe they said this is May. I forgot to write that down, but I think this is coming in. No, the raid stuff's coming in May, which we'll talk about.
2019.
In just a second. Yep. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I'm messing around.
Man.
Just in case.
All right. So
That's real good.
the other changes are coming to the raid. Here we go. With expansion 2, all raids have a new curated loadout mode. Now, this is really intriguing, and I don't know how I feel about this one. It's for prestige versions of all of the raid. Hypothetical examples include modifiers and loadout requirements. So here is one of the examples they gave. Week 1, raid activity, Eater of Worlds. Modifier, Marksman, precision damage is increased. Landing a precision shot grants 1 ammo directly to the magazine. Interesting, right? However, required loadout is hand cannon, scout rifle, and linear fusion. Now that one works, but let's look at one that is much less optimized.
Sidearm, submachine, and
Yeah.
shoddy maybe?
Yeah. So
That's really close.
expansion 2, raid layer. The raid layer, which you have to do range damage, would be, where was it? Sidearm, submachine gun, and shotgun. How are you going to do damage to the boss on Eater of Worlds? And the modifier would be Gladiator. Your melee damage is increased and melee kills grant bonus super. So I guess you're going to have to use your supers to DPS the boss?
Well, it looks like you're really going to depend on melee to get. You're getting in close and just really relying on that melee.
It'll be like Superman
Get a shield.
punches or something. 'cause,
Exactly.
These are hypothetical loadouts, by the way, and they specified that in the update.
Interesting.
I like this change, and this is how they're getting around the Eater of Worlds not having a prestige version to unlock your emblems. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna have to wait and try it out. So I'm kind of like on the fence.
I kind of like this. I think if you look back to Destiny 1 and people started doing this late in the game, they created these challenges for themselves anyways to just do it. They're like, hey, I've ran Crota like 60 times. Let's do it like the 70th time like this.
We've done
Why?
All
Well,
snipers
because it's
or whatever.
cool. Exactly. So I like that stuff. I think the biggest question is, implementation and how it works. And a lot of this stuff, like you want some kind of reward for it. So like I would
The ornaments.
Right, but to me, it's like the ornaments are cool, but I would like some kind of special. I wish there was a little bit more something to grind for.
Well,
I mean,
they,
within the curated mode?
In a
Well,
lot,
maybe that's in there,
In a
though.
lot of these,
Probably an
things,
emblem, but-
and that's what I mean. And an emblem's fine, but it would be nice if there was some kind. I'm not saying it's not, but ships, sparrows, ghosts. There's not a lot of things in Destiny right now besides emblems that say, "Hey, you've done this really cool activity, and this was a custom thing you got from beating this boss."
except the ornamentations that are being activated,
Yep.
the new ghost that drops from the raid, the new ship.
That's yes.
I want new stuff. Here's 3 new
But
examples.
so it's all coming. That stuff was not here to this point, is what I'm saying. Really, like it wasn't. No, but it wasn't.
I know.
A lot of that stuff. No, but
You're
a
right.
lot of that stuff prior to the Exoticos and stuff was
And we're
only
getting a new
in
raid layer.
Evermiss. Okay,
No,
I
it-
see.
it does make
Does
sense.
it stack?
That's right.
I
Hey,
just
we
don't like-
answered that on the episode. You
I don't
gotta
like
watch till
the
end.
I don't like the angle that the game chooses for you. Like people once you did Crota over and over again or the raids over and over again, you impose like these weird limitations on yourself and your fire team. As long as you're the one doing that, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's cool to
Like,
me. Like
I think it would suck because, like, for instance, kinetic, like if it requires a sidearm, sorry, I don't ever use sidearms. Like I dismantle all of them. I don't
Okay,
have a good
but-
one.
So I
So
think,
like,
yeah.
now
Oh,
I
so-
have to use that to be able to do this. Like
So
that
for the
kinda
sidearm,
sucks.
submachine gun,
challenge.
shotgun, it actually said expansion 2 raid layer, which tells me the boss is not going to be a floating monster. He's going to be like chasing you around or something.
maybe, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but you see
Proto's
the
back.
but you see the point, right? Like there's potential to be pigeonholed into using a weapon you don't necessarily like.
Okay, so wait.
It's a challenge.
Come on, let me.
Yeah, but why can't I choose?
Why
what
you-
challenge?
Friends next.
I'm just mad that like it's funny
Mad.
because well, okay, I'm just
He's moving his
time out
collar.
though. Like this is just an additional thing. Like you still get
Yes.
the raid layer. You get the raid. We're gonna get prestige. I forget when on raid layer, right?
It's not till
This is
launch.
prestige for raid layer.
Yeah, in
But it's
May.
also for Leviathan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's use Leviathan as example. So you got raid, regular, then you got prestige. Now you have this third mode to choose from when you're bored and you've done it 100 times. So like, I mean, I just wanted to say on that front, I feel like this is something we talk about on the show. We're like, wouldn't it be cool if there was this mode
Yes.
where you could like have a curated loadout? And so
This is
I haven't
curated
played it,
loadout mode, which will be added.
but it's a third
in addition.
mode. So I like that.
good.
You know, it's an extra thing to do if you want and you're bored of the other modes. And maybe that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, do you not like their choice of the third mode, Sean? Or do you want them to fix the first two?
No, it's a combination of those two things, right? So I want them to fix the first two. Two, like I want to feel like I can choose to do a challenge thing that empowers me. Basically, like, yes, it's a third mode. I'm happy that there's a third way to do this, but it's about the implementation. I thought it would have been really cool if in that third mode, it's like, here are all the restrictions you can choose from. And if you choose these ones, it gives you X reward. And then I get to make the choice which ones I would like to do.
Which restrictions you have.
Whatever they are, yeah. Because like, what if the reward, like, what if it's something I really want to do, like the reward, whatever it is, right? I don't know, an emblem, a ghost, whatever, a ship.
Or maybe it gives
And
you
then-
one of the weapons you've been chasing. And
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the restriction is 3 guns that I personally have never used before or whatever. Now I feel coerced to have to find those things in order to be able to do what I want to do, and I
that's-
don't like that.
I think
So what I
that's
mean is
the objective, though.
no,
Yeah.
but my main thing is just it's not a problem with the mode. I love that we're having a new opportunity to do the same thing over again in a different way.
Yeah.
It's just the implementation. That's all. Like I think there was maybe potentially, and I say this knowing, like without knowing
We
at
only know
all
so
what the
much.
rewards are.
Yeah. I mean, the reward question is, it's a huge caveat. I think what I'm trying to say then is random rolls in a weird kind of way where I don't.
Oh, here we go.
I know. Well, I don't want to,
what's
but
up
it is.
next on the show? The Vault.
Exactly.
No, it's
So, but no, I
1,272.
think it's I think it's really good. To me, it's like you remember playing Halo 2 with zombies. I thought that was super cool when zombies turned into a mode in Halo 3, where
Yeah.
they implemented exactly what the community was manually doing, and a lot of people were doing these kind of things in Destiny 1.
You know, like so for instance, like wouldn't it be cool if like on this expansion 2 raid layer, the one where you have to use a shotgun, I don't know, I don't think I've ever used a shotgun in the game. Have you?
What?
In Destiny 2?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, this
Popcorn.
is the
I get into
icebreaker
that.
comment again.
Yeah.
Sean.
Like
Go
Hawthorns,
get Legend
dude.
of Acurius.
oh, I have Legend of
All right,
Acurius.
use
Zenith
that.
of your
But, like,
kind.
I don't-
So many.
Like it's not better than a rocket.
Let's just assume that
It's
you
never
have
better than a rocket.
We'll
For
talk
sake of the
about
point,
that.
Yeah.
you don't use it much or you haven't.
Yeah, but like the point, like if it would be really cool if it was like, hey, you can choose this set of restrictions, and what it'll do is it'll give you this reward that gives you knee pads, a mod that gives you knee pads, or like shot package or something. Then I'm like, oh snap! Now it makes sense why the restriction is I have to use a shotgun because the reward is
It's
a
shotgun
really good shotgun perk.
And if
like,
you don't want it, you just skip it.
yeah, and if you don't want it, well, I don't have to do that one.
Like random rolls or mods,
Right.
Sean?
But to be fair, the
They are adding
example,
that, though, CJ.
the example does lean into that. Your melees are more powerful. It's putting you up close to use close-up weapons.
Sure, but do I get
but
a
I know
better
what you're saying.
melee? Like-
Or that, yeah,
Maybe.
You know.
you run faster, you slide farther. I think that's really interesting. I
Yeah,
mean,
like tie the
modify
rewards.
something else.
Yeah, tie the rewards to the modifier, and then give me a choice of modifiers. Like that's just the implementation I personally
that could be cool.
would have thought would be cool. I'm not saying it's not cool as it is because we don't really know much about it. Like, so much of what Bungie chooses to do in the game is cool in theory, and then in practice, it's a little lackluster.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate, man.
I'm not a hater.
It depends on.
I love.
I don't know if it's gonna be good. I was just meaning like
I think it's good.
I'm gonna wait and see.
We really don't know what this is yet.
Just like Sean's
totally.
guessing about the rewards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That could be what it is
Yeah.
when we see it in action.
But
If
I do
it
think the
is.
point is well taken. It really needs to feel worth it and not just like basically not just something you could do on your own anyway, right? And I think that is well taken.
The final small thing before we get to all CGA's PvP stuff was I want to talk about the Bungie forum changes. There were some changes in the forum where it's only going to be open to Destiny 2 players now who have reached the farm.
And have used shotgun before.
Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, that begins next week, and it seemed like that the community was pretty unhappy about this. They saw this as another way of Bungie blocking feedback from the community. I don't know how I feel about it personally, and I kind of wanted to ask you guys.
Really? Because it seemed like you were pretty miffed about it off air.
No, I'm not actually. But I've seen the perception from the community, and they've been pretty miffed about it. There's like a lot of videos out there saying that like this is another miss where Bungie's not listening, and I didn't necessarily feel that way. I was kind of like, I think it's really strange that you have to play Destiny 2 to talk in the Bungie forum. The only reason I'm not that mad about it is because I don't use the forums.
So wait,
think
does
that's
this
the next
apply to
question.
Destiny like as a whole now? So if you want to talk about Destiny 1, there's no room
Correct.
for that. That's what I was trying. I thought it was just for Destiny 2 conversations. It's like
how many-
all. If you want to
The
talk about
forums.
Halo, you have to play Destiny 2.
It's the forums, and Deets did a post
Yeah,
about
like
talking
Halo 2.
about
Yeah,
back
that's
in the
weird.
Halo
Yeah.
days where you had to reach a certain threshold before you were able to do certain things. And for Destiny, this is what they decided on.
But in the
It's
forums,
strange.
yeah, that's
it's
weird.
just a
I
weird
think it is a
thing.
It's very strong arm, but they've been very experienced. Maybe is the right word with communities for a long time. So they obviously have the reasons. Clearly, it is to keep out. I think the riffraff who are just hating. And what I can at least relate to is that when we had Fireteam chat on our main core channels on YouTube on IGN, like you guys were out there, but there's all these other people just like honestly drag down the conversation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we got to the point where it was one of the main reasons, and man, was it refreshing when we're like, Fireteam chat, you have to sub here and go. Like, if you went out of your way, you probably really like the game and want to talk about it. The
And it
conversation
improved it.
got so much better.
Yeah.
Then the game kind of, got all messed up and it's been a little salty. But,
Yeah.
But seriously,
Good
I think
comment,
there's
man.
something in there if we see a quality of life improvement.
Well, CJ just said go to Reddit.
Well, yeah. I mean, really, if you want to lay salt down, like that's where it is. And for the most part, even our Fireteam chat comments section, like now that we have the separate channel, I appreciate there's a lot of negative ones that maybe don't agree with everything that we say.
Yeah, you
I don't
have to.
care. You don't have to. But I do like that it's like it's Fireteam chat Destiny based. On IGN, you're right. It was IGN. It was random, all kinds of garbage
Call of Duty
everywhere.
sucks.
Yeah.
This is
so
Destiny show, but whatever.
Yeah.
so I don't mind that overall. I think that the videos that I've watched and I've seen the angle, it's like, oh, whatever. But in all honesty, and around here, how many people have ever posted on Bungie.net?
I did back in the
posted
Halo
9.
days.
I did,
in
I
the
think,
Halo
once
days, yeah.
in the Halo days as well. I don't think I've ever posted for Destiny 2 or 1 related type
I'm-
things since
I've
Reddit,
read
all
the
these other
forums.
forums.
I am all for like curating your community's discussion, especially if there's like rampant negativity. Like you don't want to have a community where people who want to come have actual discussions or talk with other fans have to like sift through a mountain of negativity to
Yeah.
get to what they
You
want.
people still play
Yeah.
this game? Like,
But like I said
why I'm
before,
here, yeah.
I think it maybe comes down to implementation, like how they decided to do it. I don't know if restricting the people who can contribute to the discussion to people who've gone as far in Destiny 2 specifically its campaign.
and who would have played the game to
Yeah, like,
have the discussion.
There's
That seems
maybe better ways to filter out the people who are just coming in to hate, right?
Yeah.
but we'll be able to
Verify your
see
email address
what,
or
a
something.
week or so from now.
Connect
we'll
your
be able to,
Bungie
It's
account
next
to
week.
your, yeah.
So next week it'll be adjusted this way.
been my theme.
I
Take a
understand.
look.
I mean, I have no
Yeah.
doubt it'll work.
I
but they'll
understand.
probably also limit.
I already don't
a
use
lot of
it.
people
I'm
going into the
probably.
forums.
That's
I
it.
already don't use it, and if I'm a user who hasn't played Destiny yet, I'm really not going to use it now. So now you've eliminated a huge percentage of your user base. I mean, if that's the intention, great. But a lot of people also see it as a paywall to be able to comment on Bungie.net. Like you have to buy Destiny 2, you have to play
That's
it for an
interesting.
hour and a
That's an
half.
interesting perspective too.
So
yeah, I was gonna say like, what happens when the goalpost moves? Like, what happens when, the next expansion comes out and they
Oh, did you play
move-
Taken Queen?
Yeah, now you have to move the goalpost. Like now to be
verified.
able to comment, you have to do that. Like that kind of sucks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the extent of all these changes that we'll be able to see next week, but I have a feeling they'll land on like, okay, this is the free general room, and this is the, like for Destiny.
This is the VIP
and maybe like you might still have a place to talk.
We will see. I want to bring it up.
Eververse only room.
We will see. I want to bring it up because the community is discussing it this week, and CJ definitely wanted to talk about PvP. So
That's all the time we have on today's show.
It is the end of the show, is what I'm saying.
I want to talk about it too. I'm glad CJ is here for.
Go ahead. So CJ has
8 minutes.
4 pages of stuff he wants to go through. So go ahead, CJ, take it away.
I was in Ottawa last week. There was the Go Fast update. That was part of the Josh Hamrick address that was made to.
You'll
the,
move faster.
community.
That's all we have time for, everybody.
All right, sounds good. We at least got a good 10 minutes for this. No, I mean, I think everybody's in kind of agreement with this. PvP, are you playing much of it right now? Yes or no?
Played a ton of Iron Banner.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Graham, what about you? Any trials, PvP? What do you
I
play?
played Iron Banner recently, but in general, I only play raids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I hop in and out of stuff like Banner.
Yeah, and Sean, how much Halo 5? I mean, Destiny 2 have you played?
Yeah, I have not been playing PvP or Destiny 2 for weeks.
Okay.
There's a little incentive to do so.
So this is a large consensus with the community is that when you see Twitch numbers dwindling, and unfortunately there's people like Lumi, Crafty, and major Destiny players, and a lot of the community playing other games. What are you playing?
Fortnite, PUBG,
Monster Hunter,
Warframe,
Halo.
Division.
I think some of this is because PvP is a little lacking. And so just looking at some of the details that he
We know,
said-
actually.
Well, exactly. So
By the way, leaving a 2 to 3 month old game to play a different game isn't crazy. That's just
No.
what people do.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's a
There's nothing
story.
and that's true. But the crazy thing about it is how many of us did that in Destiny 1?
Yeah.
I did.
You left Destiny 1 to play
No,
other
I
games?
still played Destiny 1. I just also played other stuff.
See, I didn't. I played Destiny 1 for 3 years straight, every single weekend, almost every single day.
To be fair,
played
you've
Destiny
basically
and The
just
Division
played
and
Bungie
whatever
games
else came out in the last
only
3
for the
years.
last like 2 decades.
And also that, but I played I played Titanfall tons, like probably days. I played every single Call of Duty except for Infinite.
I mean,
and a few
CJ's
others in there.
PvP history aside, PvP is clearly lacking.
yeah.
Yes,
We're just
I
messing
agree.
around, actually.
I
And
agree.
obviously,
No, but that's
the
fair.
lure is gone.
The thing is, people have left. That's fine.
Yep.
They will come back to the next expansion at least to check it out. That's what I think is going to happen.
see.
Prove me wrong.
I also
Prove me
think
wrong and stop buying stuff at the Eververse while you're at it.
But that's where I think just it's great to get some info from Josh, and I'll go through a couple of the things. I think the Go Fast update could be broken down into a couple points. The biggest ones that I saw, and if you haven't read it, it was last week's from.
It was exciting.
It was really good.
was.
We've buffed several weapon archetypes, including but not limited to hand cannons, pulse rifles, sniper rifles, and shotguns. And the key goal here is to make shotguns, snipers, and fusion rifles more prevalent in the game.
The power weapons we want to use, they want to be usable.
They're functional.
All great. But to me, the question is this. It's not using them
Yeah.
that's the issue.
It's the system.
It's the system. And
Yeah.
so right now, how do you fix acquiring the weapon where if you do get power ammo, and they go through those details as well, there'll be more power, more
ammo.
often.
Timers are.
Oh, I'm sorry. You
faster.
mean if I shoulder charge you away from the power armor and power ammo and steal it?
Oh, I did that so bad in the
Yeah,
stream
That's what
yesterday. and
everybody
I-
does.
Still
I
do it.
felt
It's
so
so
terrible.
funny.
It's not a good mechanic.
Okay,
It's
but they're
not.
changing it.
So they're
a little.
changing
It's
it.
literally every time. It's just like you're pushing against each other to
Yes.
try and be closer. I don't even know why I get it half the time.
So that's the thing.
Should be
Like,
rock,
there-
paper,
there's
scissors.
this system right now, that if you're not playing with teammates, where you go, "Hey man, I'm gonna go get the power ammo," and even then, sometimes when you are playing with your teammates, it's like,
I
got this."
Yeah, I still
I
do.
always charge. Always.
Exactly. So
I never get it.
So what do you guys think? Because I mentioned my special ammo update. Does this excite you, or are you fearful still of the rocket situation?
But
within
wait, the
context
key
of power?
fact though is enemies now drop power bricks
yes.
after they've acquired it, right? So that's
Yes.
you're gonna get bricks, and they lasted for
I was gonna mention that.
was it minutes or
30 seconds?
30 seconds
Yeah.
after it drops?
So that's-
they're gonna be lying around.
That's a cool mechanic. What I do like about that,
Theory.
because that was a feature in Mayhem, that was also very early in Destiny 1. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah.
There's this other element to the game that requires you to get power besides the locations that are on the wall, which is nice. The problem is, I still think ultimately, if somebody has a rocket, you're going to be up against
what I was
the
gonna
guy
say,
who
is like-
has
Yeah.
a rocket, and then he kills you, and you're like,
Pop a bubble.
Like
exactly.
you can buff the other weapons all you want. Like Rocket still wins, so you need to
Yeah.
figure out a better system in incentivizing people to use the other power weapons, right?
Yep.
Like before in Destiny 1, it was easy, right? You didn't have to compete between rocket, sniper, shotguns because there was a separate slot.
Yep.
Maybe that's the answer. Maybe there's a fourth weapon slot. specialty weapon slot.
Well, wait though. If there's more ammo, I mean, again, I'm not saying it's the
but
same.
it's just more people using rockets.
Yes.
Is the thing.
You know, having just
Like, when are you ever going to minus the top tier
CJ
players?
snipes
and
all the time. He does
in
well.
particular,
I try.
yeah. So like minus particular players who are extremely good snipers in particular situations on maps. Rockets almost always better shotguns, snipers,
I disagree with that.
fusions.
I just played a whole ton of Iron Banner over the last 2 weeks, and the main weapons I saw were sword and
Acreus.
Yeah,
Acreus. Yeah.
Sword.
Yeah.
Sword and shotgun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't played in a few weeks, but a lot of people have went towards that meta where
There's a lot of
sword
rocket.
and shoddy.
I mean,
Yeah,
But
sure.
there is
Tons
rocket
of
also. One thing I didn't see, snipers.
Fusions, absolutely.
And fusions.
Yeah.
Zero snipers
Because they
and
don't.
fusions.
I did see some Telesto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying snipers because I just want to feel that feeling again. And again, the swing sway, the flinch, all those other things right now, the snipers are unfortunately feel kind of broken in comparison to Destiny 1. But to me, that's where I don't know if this will fix that. 2 primaries and a power, I think, is the conversation people keep coming back to. But I don't think that is going to change.
If I go around a corner and I see 2 people, I'm still dead.
Yes, and so the team shot
Unless
meta, they're
you
all
have
the
a
rest of the
rocket.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
To your point,
putting it
yes.
out.
Yeah.
So to me, I keep thinking. I mentioned my thing that I thought that what was exciting about Masterworks are those kind of potential options down the road. They need to create something that generates ammo for those weapons that allows you to use them more often. Because I think you're right for the most part. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Icebreaker, no lamb.
I'm joking.
No, they were big. Like, let's just use those. So to me, it's like, what do you think they could do to make those weapons viable again? Because I think Sean's right for the most part. Power is going to be typically used for rockets.
Invective also had generating ammo.
It did.
Yeah.
It was pretty slow.
Very
out the
slow,
gate,
though.
So you think, we don't know, but you think that the problem could be that there's just more rockets on the field now?
Yeah.
Like, meaning if there's going to
That's gonna happen.
There is factually going to be more power ammo.
There's too
so,
many-
So do you think it's just going to be too many rockets?
Yeah, there's too many one-hit power items and sniper, fusion, and shotgun in the power slot. So that to me is the issue. They made that decision to go elemental for the 2 primary thing. What I'm wondering is, remove, okay, we had this in Destiny 1. What can they do now to change that? And I don't know that this fixes anything if they don't reverse the slots.
So-
and I don't think they're going to reverse the slots.
So I think you're right. The inclination is right. However, you think about it, it's going to change the meta because you have bigger magazines on other things. And before, you have to make this choice. Like, I'm alive. I've got this to use for now. When I die, that's it. So, like, you were more than happy to take a rocket or 2, right? And you're like, because you want a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
But then you're, like, usually dead or whatever, or just out of rockets. But meaning now you can walk around with a lot of sniper ammo and a lot of fusions, right? That changes, like, meaning when you die, you lose it, but meaning there's going to be more stuff flying around more often that people are just going to have the weapon more commonly.
Yes.
Meaning I don't know, I feel like you're going to worry a little less about, okay, it's my one chance for power. Now it becomes persistent.
Yep.
More persistent. Maybe not persistent enough.
I mean, I don't think it's I think it's less about the worry about having to make a choice about the ammo. I think it's more about, like, you choose a rocket because it's a guarantee. Like, if you get anywhere near, it's a guaranteed hit, 1 kill. You can get multiple kills, and the TTK. That's the thing, is the TTK is the lowest on the
Yeah, and I think
wait,
you
though.
guys are all latching onto this power ammo thing. Sean's right. It's about the time to kill. That's the problem. It's
The
not
reason
the
people
power
choose
weapon.
rockets is because it kills people the fastest.
And they're being buffed.
So time out though, like in the betas and when things were warming up and nobody knew what they were doing yet. I mean, I would go on big streaks with fusions. Part of it was the way people were playing. Like, part of it was the magazine size, and you're just running around with a ton of power ammo. So I guess I'm being optimistic that, honestly, I really liked using fusions in the beta. I don't know exactly what changed.
They nerfed them.
I mean, I love
That was part of it.
like in Destiny 1, man, the Plan C days. I loved using that in PvP because if you were good, you could really slay people. with
Shock
that
and
thing.
awe exists, which is basically it's like the Plan C. It's not Plan C. Anyway, I'm being optimistic. I do think about it. More swords, more fusion. You're gonna see some meta changes inevitably, and I think it's one of those things you got to get out there. But I also think the speed is actually huge.
Speed is huge.
because it changes just the ability to get to and fro this team kill perspective. You might be able to just conquest people.
You're right, Fran.
Anyway,
it is going to change.
I'm excited for the changes.
Yes.
It's going to change the meta a little bit. Shoulder charges still don't kill people in one hit. Grenades still don't do any damage, basically.
But that's okay. Those were things that they brought to attention because you would run around shoulder charging people all the time. And stickies were an issue, right? So I think...
But they made it useless.
You're right.
And that's the problem.
You're absolutely right. So this...
And then we use it as a traversal thing, and they're like, we don't want you playing that way. We're taking it away. And then they're like, oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah, they rebuffed
they
it.
undid it.
So realize your mistake about grenades and shoulder charges. And
So that's the thing. I think sticky grenades needs to get you down basically to like a one-hit kill after. Right now, you're right. They are useless, and most people don't use them. But that's where I think what happened with shotgun fusion and snipers is that it was so prevalent in Destiny 1. And even you, but so right here.
I was thinking about stickies, not the shotgun.
Okay, very good.
Sorry.
But no, it's interesting. Like, yeah, when you accommodate for, I think the challenge was with people in snipers, you were like, okay, we want to accommodate this player. The issue is the skill ceiling is so low now that a lot of the hardcore people are gone. That needs to change.
Yeah, this is what I was gonna say, man. Like, I don't want to paint everyone with a broad brush here, but if you're playing competitive PvP and someone grabs heavy with a sword and kills you, you're an idiot. Like, how do you get killed by a sword guy?
They hide around the corner.
Yeah.
Hide? You can't hide. You're
You
always
crouch and
on
you don't
the radar
show up on radar.
for 2 seconds.
So if I'm running and
Crouch,
I
there's-
just spawned
there's
and a
ways.
dude's crouched there and he hits me with a sword, there are scenarios where
just-
it makes sense.
I'm not saying I've never died to a sword guy before, but by and large, if you're playing competitive PvP and you die to a sword, you're an idiot.
So here's the thing.
Like,
I'm
That's
gonna
going to get a few responses.
I'm just going to go back for a few more things. I'm going to look at these were some of our Destiny 1 numbers with hand cannons and all the different weapons that we use. So Sean, for all the PvP you played, 3,821 hand cannon kills,
I know what mine's going to be.
2,800 super kills, and 2,300 shotgun kills. So your top three were hand cannon, super, and shotgun.
this is Destiny 1.
This is Destiny 1.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Destin
Party
might
Crasher
have
plus one
multi-tool.
forever and ever.
Yeah, there you go.
Scouts.
Oh, interesting. So Destin, 2,900 super kills, scout rifles, 2,200, and then shotguns, 1,900.
That's right.
So you were
wait,
mostly
he was super scout, then what?
super scout
Sorry.
and then shotgun.
I loved Invective, and
Yeah. So
I
unfortunately,
was not good
Fran,
at sniping. I'm still not.
I could not find your stats. I think you had melees the most actually.
Confirmed.
Sounds
Yeah.
right.
Fran
I
has
sent
never
you?
PvP ever.
Oh yeah. So
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, pull it screen.
And you
so,
floated to your death as a warlock 9,000 times. It was
What
really
was yours,
surprising.
CJ?
Okay, so this is when I realized I played
This
a lot
I
of
wanna
PvP.
see.
So I had
10,000.
13,000 hand
Wow.
cannon kills.
13,000?
Yeah, an 11,000 fusion rifle kills,
my God.
and 6,700 super kills. So I went hand cannon, fusion, super, and then Fran. I mean,
Mine
you
was
couldn't find-
melee grenade hand cannon. I don't know if it's true.
No
Yeah.
way, really?
That sounds
What
right.
it
You got
says.
the most
I don't like
melee
stickies.
kills?
Stickies are bad. I play a warlock,
No,
Sunsinger.
I was not a sticky guy. No, I hated them. Get out of here.
So now check this out.
It's crazy that you melee kill more people than you shoot kill people.
I'll tell you
that
why.
changed,
crazy
though.
to
Oh
me.
no, wait!
That's
I'll
'cause
tell
dual
here,
melees.
I will tell
There's
you
shield
why.
buff.
Here's
Yeah.
why. No, I forget what it was, but I would do a lot of like damage
Shoot
up close, and
melee.
I'd finish.
Yes.
Did a finish. Did a finish. So I
Yeah.
think that's why.
That's accurate. That makes sense.
I couldn't get those precision headshots, obviously.
Can someone make a
So
gif
there
of
you
Fran doing his warlock moves?
So now check this out. Check out real.
Sidearm, brap, dead. There it is.
Check out where I'm going with this. Check out Real Crafty. 114,000
Wow.
sniper kills, 90,000 hand cannon kills, and 56,000 super kills.
Well,
That
the
makes
hand
sense,
cannon
though.
meta near the end of the game, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that was the primary, and also we had Thorn there for such a long period of
The
time.
crafty makes sense. He
And
would
last
snipe
word.
until
But
they
even that,
push.
he would
then
snipe,
he'd 3-tap
yeah.
you.
Yep.
And then when he had a super, he'd go on a tear. So
Yeah, but look at and then Lumi shotgun 83,000 shotgun kills, hand cannon 79 super, 41,000.
So what's your point with all these analytics?
So last round off, Stev had 55,000 hand cannons.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, exactly. 5,500. Anyways, it's usually hand cannon, shotgun, super, sniper. Where I'm going with this is you look back at Destiny 1, you fundamentally eliminated the top 3 weapons for the most part that people used in the game and didn't give them a replacement.
Yeah.
And you're saying a primary, a secondary, and a super?
I'm saying
is
right
that-
now, if there's no way to change what those weapons are into the next slot, and I don't think that's going to happen, what can be done to change this? And I've said a couple things on the show. Even think about how artifacts came into Rise of Iron. I hope that there's something that comes along that incentivizes people to use those. Get a primary kill with your hand cannon, generate sniper ammo.
Right.
Get dual shot elemental kills generate fusion ammo, and that's where the mod system needs.
I was
to
just about to say that. I was like, there was only some sort of mod system.
There needs to be something that's done that changes that, because right now PvP, most people when they talk to me are like, you know what, I'm excited for these changes, but I'm leery still. I'll come back in May to check it out. If it's not what I'm hoping for, then what? Ranked,
I mean, I think it's
not going to change. How I feel about PvP. They want to play ranked, but this conversation I think is going to be really something difficult.
The only thing that I care about is PvP getting to a place where it's as fun as it was in Destiny 1, because it is not there. I just played a ton of Iron Banner, and yes, it's improved, and I don't think it's as bad as everybody's saying.
No, Iron Banner I thought was pretty good.
Like just PvP in general, it's just not as fun as it was in Destiny 1. Destiny 1 was a more fun experience. I would rather be playing Iron Banner in Destiny 1 right now.
And Trials has that same issue, right?
For sure, yeah. And I did want to clarify, like, I'm excited for changes. I remain very skeptical that this is enough. But I'm excited for what they're working on. Like, when you say they eliminated hand cannons, you're right. They're not that effective right now, but they're buffing them.
Yes.
Again, it's just a buff, though. It's not like a solve. And I think that's where I agree to be skeptical, but they are buffing things that are not working. Mobility is going to be faster. There's going to be a lot more power ammo on the field. So
I think, like,
it's going to be a different game. It's not going to be what it is today. Well, I really believe that.
A second level seems to be the philosophy that drives how they balance these weapons from the first place, which is that, like, if you looked at, it was only those really, really top tier players who had the most sniper kills, right? It should be that way, because if you're good, you should be able to snipe. Now you're pigeonholed away from snipers regardless of your skill level, effectively lowering the skill cap, which I've said this so many times. I am a high skill player type of person. Like, I'm not saying I'm highly skilled. What I'm saying is I like games that reward players who are good at the game.
Yeah.
And I like games that reward players who put the time in to become skilled. And I don't think that just because you bought it, you deserve to be on the same level as players.
You know, Sean, it's
that who put the time in.
It's interesting that you bring up, like, elimination of those,
which is what Rockets do.
Because, I mean, they need to fix that.
Yeah.
I had something and I lost it. I was going to say something. I was going to say.
But
what was
you get killed by a sword, you're a sucker.
You see, like, that's what I mean is, like, if you get killed by a sword, or if, like...
I remember what I was going to say. On the earnings call, they actually admitted that they tried to make it more user-friendly and accessible, and it's not working.
So that's my thing is, like, I am all for designing systems that are accessible, but, like... To bring it up, in StarCraft, anyone can play the game and understand what the units do and stuff. But to be able to control 200 units at once effectively, that's what makes a player good. And if you design a system that allows everyone to do that, I don't know how you would do that. Maybe
I know what you mean.
For
Like,
StarCraft,
once you hit a high level, you shouldn't have to buff or nerf things just to let me compete with those higher levels.
Unless the philosophy is let's balance the game so that everyone is on the same playing level, which I am against that in a multiplayer game. Which is what Rockets do.
We're running pretty long. CJ, do you have a lot more to go over?
No, that's mostly it. I will say that I think, I'm optimistic about these changes too. The speed thing is positive. Faster, recharge of supers is positive. The movement speed in and of itself is positive. These are all things that when you play Destiny 2, it feels sluggish.
So wait, so everyone just moves faster? Is that a big
110%.
Now it's weird. Yeah,
Still
that was
all
in
the
Halo,
same speed.
Halo
so
2.
that was Halo 3. So the last thing I want to mention, real quickly, is Bungie's been in this position before. I jokingly said to a few people before at the reveal event, Halo 2 to Halo 3, I actually didn't transition to very well. I think Halo 3 was a really great game. There was tons of new innovative things in it. I did not like the multiplayer as much. They made it very slow. There was a very much methodical thing. They removed BXR. They removed all these little things. Now, that is kind of what's happening with Destiny 2. They're taking all the stuff out. The weird thing is they're now putting it all back in.
So I think Halo 3's multiplayer is better than Halo 2's.
Interesting. So, but that one had, like, if you look at the first 6 months of all Bungie's releases from Halo through to Halo Reach, everything was, like, in flux. Oh, what's going on with the sniper now? I have to lead my shots. The BR has hit scan. I can't aim for the head. Those are huge problems in Halo 3. They didn't change those things. Sometimes they change them. Sometimes they don't. I don't think they'll change the two primary one power system.
I don't think so either.
They need to.
But I really
well, you're right. They're
they
not,
will.
and that's why they're only doing what they're doing now to see if it works.
Yeah. So design philosophy wise, that's what's interesting because in Halo 3 they increased the movement speed for MLG and they custom certain game types and modes to cater to those hardcore audiences. So we've often talked about like a PTR. I don't really think that there should be one for Destiny, like PvE and everything as a whole.
Oh, it's okay to be wrong.
No, but
PvP.
PvP.
Yeah, why aren't we testing this?
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying like that I think it should happen, but the conversation about it happening. Stop smiling. Fine, you're right. The one time you said something,
Dude, I mean that would make sense. Like, what if there was what if there was a game preview like on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network that you could just boot up and all it is one map and the new sandbox changes. And you would just play PvP against people.
Something like that.
It's working well for everybody else who's doing it.
There was maybe a game mode that had experiential things in it. It doesn't need to be even like a private thing. It'd be like, hey, new PvP update on this game type.
Oh, see, I think it'd have to be like a whole separate client.
Oh, I mean,
Like a
that would
PUBG-style
ideally
game demo.
be.
You
but
boot it up separately out of Destiny.
Yeah.
Fortnite's doing it right now.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
There's something to be said about a game like Fortnite where they're like, let's just try a different shooting style. Here's a shooting test mode. You know, only certain people want to join it. Try it out. The wait queue's a little longer, but you try out all new, you know, its accuracy has changed. Its recoil's changed.
They
So
collect
damage
data,
fall off is higher
usability
over
price,
range.
And they already
provide
have
feedback.
their theories. They narrowed it down to 2, and they said, okay, let's see which ones you guys like. And, and
Because Bungie always ends up having
data.
these things, where, pistol becomes most dominant in Halo 1. BR noob combo. Like, they called something the noob combo, and it's that combo of the plasma rifle and battle rifle.
The problem with Destiny PvP is everything is the noob combo.
Yeah.
Right, but that's why it needs to change. The weapon meta changes too fastly. I get why they don't do sandbox tweaks more often, but people definitely want to see that. And it's unfortunate that sometimes you can't enjoy all the exciting things in the game because you're waiting for the sandbox.
I do have a question for you though. As someone who doesn't play Destiny on PC, are these problems like they exclusive to console, or is there better?
Hand cannon's better on PC.
Yeah, so I had heard
still not.
Yeah, so I had
not
heard
3-tab.
that there was way more weapon variety on PC, which makes sense because you have greater control, which means you have better.
It's a different meta.
Especially hand cannons, right?
Yeah.
But is hand cannons like the one, like that's the exception to the rule, or like do you see a lot of other weapons?
Pulse is solid.
I use Pulse on
Yeah,
PC.
a hand cannon like Better Devils is at the top of the trials charts almost all the time, and in console it's Uriel's Gift, Mida, and a couple other ones. So so they don't have. That's a new problem too for them, right? So balancing it for PC versus console and everything in between, mouse and keyboard, controller people. There's tons of variables in the game now that they didn't have before. So
mouse and keyboard and controller people. You
Whatever.
pointed the wrong way.
We are at an hour, you guys. So we really need to wrap it up for the day.
Making
CJ,
up for it.
do you have anything else you wanted to bring up? Last point.
That was pretty much it. I think they need to design the game for highest skill.
Yeah,
Make those people learn,
That's
and
Sean's
then
passion.
High
everybody
skill cap.
will
Love
fall
it.
into place.
I agree. Make it more like Destiny 1.
Yep.
Yeah. So about this show, Fireteam Chat, I did 4 people today, and I got to say, we tried the 3 people thing, and it didn't really work. So I realized, hey, that's not working. Let's go back to 4. So I decided to implement a change, and I'm like, the community seems to like 4 people more, and it's a better flow.
Fire teams are 4 now.
Until the big bosses come in and they say, no, you have to make it 3 again. And then he's got to do it. And it's very confusing world.
I just
And then
do
they're like,
whatever.
also, is there a way you can ask for microtransactions?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It's good to have all you guys back.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
It was fun.
Fun time.
All right, so let's do the outro together. Until next time, everybody, Guardians out.
Song? That would be awesome.
Of it.
Welcome to your left.
Exactly.
Too close
Don't
to
record.
CJ.
Please don't. Well, meaning you can just do white powder, but he could probably do something a little more tone matched, or even like I use. I'm lucky. There's it's just a general matte. It's like a cream. Here, let's start the show like this. Wait. Can we start it like this?
Perfect.
Welcome to Fireteam Chat, everybody. There, it's perfect, right? I love it.
Oh,
Like and
hi.
subscribe.
Oh, hi. Hey, everybody.
Anyway.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're silly.
Let's all do the outro together.
Brent's never
good.
ready.
I know. He's like,
I'm like, clearly
100%
I'm
ready.
wrapping up. I'm wrapping up, you guys. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to know when we go live. We do live streams regularly with the community where we answer your questions on air. And also, you can check out this playlist of all our full episodes of Fireteam Chat. See you next time.